If you're over 60, this tiny bottle might be the most powerful thing in your cabinet, and it's not a pill. For many older adults, the search for relief often feels endless. From joint stiffness and memory lapses to thinning hair and restless nights, we try creams, capsules, and therapies, yet still feel something's missing. But what if nature already had a quiet solution waiting for you? In today's video, I'll share 3 gentle, science-backed ways to use rosemary oil, an age-old herbal remedy that may help improve memory, ease joint discomfort, and even support scalp health. No hype, no pressure. Just simple practices you can try at home. Whether you've used essential oils before or this is your first time hearing about them, you'll find something here that feels doable, calming, and respectful to your body. We'll walk through how to use rosemary oil safely, when to use it, and what to expect. And if this kind of natural support interests you, feel free to subscribe. Not because you have to, but because you deserve easy, thoughtful care, delivered with clarity and kindness, right here each week. Let's begin. Part 1. Support your memory naturally. Let's start with something we often take for granted until we feel it slipping. Your mind. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why? Or misplaced your glasses, only to find them in the fridge or the bathroom sink? If you're over 60, moments like these can feel frustrating, sometimes even a little scary. I've had patients whisper to me, "Dr. Hayes, am I losing my memory?" And I always say this, forgetfulness is normal, but it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your brain, just like your joints or your muscles, needs care. Gentle, consistent care. And that's where rosemary oil comes in. Now, I'm not here to tell you that rosemary oil is a miracle cure for memory loss. It's not. But I am here to tell you that its calming scent, used regularly and intentionally, may support mental clarity and attention, especially in older adults. And the best part, it's easy, natural, and kind to your body. Let me tell you about a small study that caught my eye. Researchers gave a group of seniors rosemary oil to inhale through aromatherapy. Nothing fancy, just a few drops in a diffuser. And what they found was quite promising. The participants who used the rosemary oil showed modest improvements in memory recall and alertness compared to those who didn't. Not dramatic, but enough to notice, enough to feel. Why might this happen? Well, rosemary oil contains compounds like cineol, which may help stimulate certain parts of the brain involved in focus and cognitive performance. Think of it like this. Just as we stretch our bodies to keep them mobile, rosemary's scent may offer a light stretch for the mind. Now here's how you can try it at home. It takes no more than 5 minutes a day. Start by choosing a quiet time. Early morning, before the day gets too busy, is ideal. Place 2 or 3 drops of pure rosemary essential oil into a diffuser or onto a cotton pad. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply, slowly. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Let the scent fill the space around you. There's no need to force anything. You're not trying to solve a puzzle or memorize a grocery list. You're simply giving your brain a moment to settle, to refresh, to gently wake up. It's not just about the rosemary, it's about the ritual. The pause, the care. You could also pair this with a quiet activity like writing a few lines in a journal, reading a poem, or simply sitting with your thoughts. These simple moments are underrated, but they add up. And over time, they can make a real difference in how you feel. Some seniors I've worked with have added this to their morning tea routine. Others keep a small bottle on their nightstand or in their reading corner. Wherever you place it, let it become a reminder. Not of aging, but of awareness, of being present with yourself. Now I want to ask you something, and I'd love if you answered in the comments below. What helps you stay mentally sharp? Do you have a daily habit? A word game, a walk you enjoy, or a quiet time for prayer or reflection? You see, the more we share what works, the more we help one another. That's how we build a community of wellness, not just from information, but from lived experience. And while we're on the topic of staying sharp, let me remind you of something. Your brain still loves to learn. It still enjoys being challenged in soft, kind ways. Whether it's trying a new puzzle, learning a recipe, or listening to new music, your mind is still very much alive. Rosemary oil isn't a fix, but it's a nudge, a signal, a breath of support. Now, before I move on, here are a few quick safety tips. Always use pure, high-quality rosemary oil from a trusted source. Don't apply it directly to your skin or scalp without diluting it first. And if you have a history of seizures or high blood pressure, be sure to speak with your doctor before using any strong essential oils, just to be safe. But for most seniors, using rosemary oil in aromatherapy is gentle and well tolerated. And more importantly, it's something you can do for yourself. No prescriptions, no trips to the clinic, just a few deep breaths and a few quiet minutes that say, I care about my brain. I still want to feel focused. I still want to remember the good things in life. So tomorrow morning, before the noise of the day begins, try it. A drop or two. A deep breath, a simple beginning to a better day. In the next part of this video, I'll show you how rosemary oil can also help with something else that troubles many seniors, joint stiffness and inflammation. It might surprise you how something so small can offer comfort in the places that hurt the most. But before we go there, I want to thank you for staying with me. Your time matters, your wellness matters, and your curiosity, especially after 60, is something to be proud of. Let's keep exploring, one natural step at a time. Part 2. Ease joint stiffness and inflammation. Now let's talk about your joints. Because while the brain may forget a few things, your knees, your shoulders, your hands, they remember everything. They remember every step, every lift, every bend. And over the years they begin to speak back, quietly at first, then more firmly. A little stiffness when you get out of bed, a slow ache after gardening, that familiar creaking when you stand up from your favorite chair. Does that sound like you? You're not alone. In fact, studies show that nearly 70% of adults over 65 report joint discomfort of some kind, most often in the knees, hands, hips, or lower back. And while aging is a natural part of life, chronic joint pain doesn't have to be your constant companion. That's where something gentle like rosemary oil may offer support. Now, I want to be clear. Rosemary oil is not a replacement for physical therapy, medication, or your doctor's advice. But it is one of those small, time-tested tools that can make daily life a little more comfortable, especially when used with consistency and care. So, how does it work? Rosemary oil contains natural compounds like camphor and rosmarinic acid. These have been studied for their anti-inflammatory and circulation-boosting properties. When massaged into the skin, especially over joints, it may help reduce swelling, ease stiffness, and even provide a warming sensation that relaxes tight muscles. For many seniors, this simple practice creates a small but meaningful shift, less tension, more ease, and a renewed sense of mobility. Let me show you exactly how to use it. Start with a carrier oil. This just means a gentle base oil to dilute the rosemary oil. I recommend extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil. These are soft on the skin and work beautifully for massage. In a small dish, combine 1 tablespoon of carrier oil, 3 to 5 drops of rosemary essential oil. That's it. Rub the mixture between your palms to warm it, then gently massage it into the affected area, your knees, your hands, or even your lower back. Use small circular motions. Don't rush. Let it be part of your evening or morning routine, like brushing your teeth or brewing tea. And here's something to try tonight. Right before bed, warm a soft towel in the dryer. After applying the rosemary blend to your knees, wrap them with the towel for 10 to 15 minutes while you relax. The warmth helps open circulation, and the rosemary adds its soothing touch. I've had patients tell me, Dr. Hayes, I didn't think it would work, but after a week, I noticed I wasn't bracing myself as much when getting out of bed. I wasn't gripping the railings so tightly when climbing the stairs. And that's what we're looking for. Not miracles, but momentum. Gentle improvement that gives you just enough freedom to enjoy your day a little more. Now let's talk about safety, because that's important, especially for aging skin. Always do a patch test before using rosemary oil more broadly. Apply a small amount of the diluted oil to your forearm and wait a few hours. If there's no irritation, you're good to go. Avoid using essential oils directly on broken skin or open wounds. And if you're taking blood thinners, or you have epilepsy or high blood pressure, please talk to your doctor before using rosemary oil regularly. While it's natural, it's still potent. Now I want to hear from you. Which joints bother you most during the day? Is it your knees after walking? Your fingers after holding a coffee mug too long? Or maybe it's your hips after a night's sleep? Type it in the comments, and let's start a real conversation. Sometimes, knowing others are experiencing the same challenges can be comforting. And who knows, you may find a tip from another viewer that works even better for you. And remember, this isn't about reversing the years. It's about caring for the body you have in the most respectful and mindful way possible. I often say, your body listens when you treat it gently. And rosemary oil, when used with intention, is a gentle voice. It says, I'm still showing up for myself. I still deserve relief. So here's your gentle challenge, just for this week. Each evening before bed, take 5 minutes to rub this rosemary blend into the joints that speak the loudest. Breathe while you do it, not as a task, but as a ritual. Something you give to yourself, quietly, kindly. If you find it helpful, write it down. Keep a little log of how you feel each morning. Over time, you may begin to notice subtle changes, not just in movement, but in how you feel about your own care. That matters just as much. And if this is the first time you've heard of rosemary oil being used this way, I'd love to know, does it surprise you? Would you be willing to try it this week? I'm here to remind you, small steps still count, especially when taken daily, especially when taken with love. Now, in the next section of this video, we'll explore one more benefit of rosemary oil that's rarely talked about. It's gentle support for aging hair and scalp health. If you've been noticing thinning hair or a dry scalp, you won't want to miss what's coming next. But before we get there, don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. It's a small action, but it helps us reach more seniors who are searching for natural, trusted care, just like you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. We share new senior health tips every single week, not because aging needs fixing, but because it deserves attention, support, and dignity. Let's keep going. Part 3. Gentle scalp and hair support. And yes, rosemary oil can also support scalp health. It might not be the first thing you think about when you hear essential oils, but this tiny plant has a long history of helping people feel better, inside and out. Now let's talk about something that many seniors don't always say out loud: hair changes. Over time, our hair naturally begins to thin. The texture may feel different. The scalp may feel drier or more sensitive. And for some, hair loss becomes a source of frustration, even quiet embarrassment. It's not vanity. It's about identity, about looking in the mirror and recognizing yourself. And I want to remind you, these changes are normal. They're part of life. But that doesn't mean you can't support your scalp and hair in a way that feels good and honors your age. That's where rosemary oil enters the picture once again. Several small studies have shown that rosemary oil may help stimulate circulation to the scalp, nourish hair follicles, and support a healthier scalp environment. One study even compared rosemary oil to minoxidil, a common hair regrowth medication, and found comparable results after consistent use over 6 months, with fewer reported side effects. Now, to be clear, we're not claiming that rosemary oil will magically reverse hair loss. But when used consistently, it may help improve scalp comfort, reduce dryness, and create the conditions that support healthy-looking hair, especially for those noticing age-related changes. So let's walk through how to use it in a safe, calming, and effective way. Start with a carrier oil. My personal recommendation for the scalp: coconut oil or jojoba oil. They're nourishing, lightweight, and easily absorbed by the skin. In a small bowl, mix 2 tablespoons of carrier oil, 5 drops of rosemary essential oil. Massage this gently into your scalp using your fingertips. Focus on areas where the scalp feels dry, tight, or where you've noticed thinning. Don't rush. Let it be slow. Circular motions help stimulate blood flow. This isn't just about the oil. It's about the ritual of touch, of reconnecting with your own body. Once applied, let it sit for 15 to 30 minutes. You can even wrap your head with a warm towel if you'd like for a more spa-like experience. Afterward, wash it out using a gentle, sulfate-free shampoo. Do this 2 to 3 times per week. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Isn't this too messy or complicated? And I get that, but I've seen how powerful small routines like this can become. One of my patients, Linda, age 76, told me she started doing this twice a week, and while she wasn't sure if her hair was growing faster, she did say, "Dr. Hayes, my scalp feels calmer. It doesn't itch like it used to, and I actually look forward to those 20 minutes." And that's the key. It's not just about results, it's about care. When we give our body time, attention, and something nourishing, we're telling ourselves, I'm still worth it. Let me ask you, how do you take care of your scalp or hair now? Do you have a favorite oil, a soothing shampoo, or maybe a quiet routine that helps you feel relaxed? Share it with me in the comments. I'd love to know what works for you. Now, let me address a few questions I often get from seniors when I mention this. 1. Can I leave the rosemary oil on overnight? Yes, but only if it's properly diluted with a carrier oil, and only if your scalp tolerates it well. If it's your first time, I recommend starting with 20 to 30 minutes and working up gradually. 2. Is it safe for color-treated or thinning hair? Generally, yes, especially when used gently and not too often. But always test a small area first and use a mild shampoo when rinsing. 3. Will this make my hair grow back? That depends on the cause of hair loss. For many, rosemary oil supports circulation and scalp health, which can encourage stronger, healthier-looking hair over time. But it's not a guaranteed regrowth solution. What it can be, though, is a calming ritual. A natural way to give back to your body. A moment where you pause and say, I care about this part of me too. You see, at this stage in life, we're not chasing perfection. We're choosing peace. We're not trying to look younger, we're trying to feel whole. That's what rosemary oil offers, a gentle path to reconnection. Now, before we close this part, here's one more little tip I personally love. You can also add 1 drop of rosemary oil to your regular shampoo once or twice a week. Just 1 drop. It adds a little freshness to your scalp without any extra mess. It's a nice way to ease into the habit if you're not ready for a full scalp massage. So whether you choose to massage, diffuse, or blend it into your shampoo, remember, it's not about doing everything. It's about doing something. Something that feels good. Something that reminds you, I'm still nurturing myself. Before we move to our final thoughts, I want to thank you for staying with me through this journey. Rosemary oil may be small, but its possibilities are many. For your brain, for your joints, for your scalp. If you found value in this video so far, please give it a like. It tells YouTube that seniors care about natural wellness, and it helps more people like you find this message. And if you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe. We release weekly tips like this, always gentle, always science-backed, always with you in mind. Coming up next, we'll wrap it all together. A few final reflections, reminders for safe use, and a message from me to you about what true health really looks like after 60. Stay with me, because you deserve the full picture. So there you have it. A simple plant with powerful potential, rosemary oil. Whether it's supporting your memory, soothing stiff joints, or caring for your scalp, this gentle remedy reminds us that sometimes nature gives us more than we realize. What matters most is how we use it, with patience, care, and consistency. As a health expert who's worked with older adults for years, I've seen how small, natural practices can make a big difference, physically, emotionally, even spiritually. Rosemary oil isn't a cure, but it can be part of a deeper habit of self-care. And after 60, that matters more than ever. If today's video helped you, give it a like and share it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to explore the helpful links in the description. You'll find more trusted videos on joint health, memory, and senior wellness, each created with you in mind. Now I'd love to hear from you. What senior health topic would you like me to go deeper into next? Type it below. I'm listening, and I respond to as many as I can. Take care of yourself. You still matter, every single day.